Hello everyone, this is Scott with Hi-Lux Optics, and I am here with a beautiful old Winchester 94 mounted up with our lever action red dot mount and the TD3C red dot. That is not the only red dot and the only style of this mount that we make, but that is the one I have on it. I took it out to the desert recently, shot it a whole bunch, and now it is full of sand. So I have to take it off, clean it up a little bit, and in the process I'm going to show you how to mount this back on. Now, our lever action red dot mount mounts up using two holes on the left side of the receiver. There are many rifles that have this, but honestly the easiest way to see whether or not you have it is just to take a gander at your rifle. This is mounted up, just to give you the quick specs at the beginning. These two screws are going to go into your receiver at about 20 to 25 inch-pounds. That all depends on the rifle you have. The red dot up top, this one is an RMR footprint. We also make one for the RMS-C footprint. The screws that mount this to the plate will go in at about, I'd say up to 15 inch-pounds. It's a fairly lightweight sight. You know, it's not the weight of a whole scope, so you don't need too terribly much torque on it. Plus, depending on the size of your screws, those can get quite small. So here we go. Step one, I'm going to unmount this side plate. Now, I got to be frank here. I don't even remember if I put Loctite in this. I usually don't. And judging on the feel of this, I probably didn't here. Or it's just been on here long enough that, oh my god, I did put Loctite. Wow. It's been a while since I put this thing on. But that is why it is good to take it off every so often and clean it up, because the dust, at least where we shoot, does build up around the frame and gets all sandy. I don't want that sitting on my rifle all day. Plus, I need to clean this sight up. It's got a whole lot sand on the glass. These are torque screws. The two that I had going into the side there were, well, I actually don't remember the torque spec, or the Torx head size. I just grabbed the bit that fits. That's okay. We'll do it by feel. Two screws to mount this into the plate. Now, while I'm doing this, the TD3C does use a CR2032 battery. That's the size of a quarter button battery. Ooh, look at that nice line of grime there. Got to clean that thing off. Catch it early, that grime is just kind of sitting there, and it's easy enough to get out. If you let it sit for too long, it becomes kind of permanent, almost glues itself in place, at least with the dust that we have. Couldn't imagine how bad it would be if I let it sit there and there was actually water in the desert. Nice. Now this plate was actually made about 30 feet that way. And it was coated that way. So I don't remember the exact distance. These are made in Torrance right now at our facility here. And I'm glad that we have really good walls. Otherwise, this room would be very noisy. My desk, for those of you who've talked to me on the phone, is about 35 feet that way. And looking over at it, see my nice fresh cup of coffee getting cold. I really should have drank that before I filmed this. But I had my cameras all set up. I just wanted to go ahead and film it, get this rifle clean. Oh, the concerns of work. Let's take a look here. Not too much dust up on top, a little bit on the side. As you can see, these are the two holes that I'm talking about. They'll often be used in the older rifles for like a peep sight, Lyman style peep sight. They've been on the Winchester 94 around since maybe the mid-50s up until now, so it's kind of an old standard. The Browning 92, my other favorite rifle to mount up with the TD3E, using the RMS-C footprint version of this, also has these holes. For fun over the weekend, I gotta say I did shoot the Browning more often. I just had a lot more ammo for it. This is a 30-30, so those shots do cost just a little bit more. The Browning is a pistol cartridge, but I'm not going to avoid a chance to shoot both of them when I get it. Let's start by putting this plate on. I am not going to Loctite it this time. I don't think it was strictly necessary, and when not necessary, I don't really like using Loctite. Leaves a funky residue and makes the screws a little bit tougher to get out. If you want to put Loctite, go ahead and put the blue. Don't put the red, and whatever you do, never, ever, ever use the green. Just stick to the blue stuff. It'll make your life a little bit easier. I'm going to start these screws in and then switch over to the fat wrench. Now I will do 20 inch-pounds because, again, there's not a lot of weight. It's definitely not the weight of an entire scope. I don't want to push the torque up to its limits. And we are talking inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, because that would be a little bit crazy. 20. Good thing about these fat wrenches, when you have the right torque, it makes that nice, pleasant clicking sound. In my mind, that is the shop equivalent of the grand clip ejection. It's just a very distinct ping. When you hear it, you know what it means. Clean that glass off a little bit. Yeah, that's all right. Once again, I'll just feed this in and then tighten it up proper. The good thing about the RMR footprint is it has those two little pins up here. So when you drop the sight on and it settles in, you know that your screws are going to be lined up. And that makes my life a lot easier. So this one, like I mentioned before, we're going to go about 15 inch-pounds. This one, I am not as worried about the torque setting because if I do go a little bit high, and let's say I damage a screw, that's only going to be a screw that I can easily remove, and it'll go into a plate that I can easily remove. It is not going to be damaging the rifle. If I were to put a screw in here and damage, say, the threading into those two holes, I would probably die a little bit. But this being a separable piece and not an original part of the rifle, not as concerned. There we go, 15-15. That is now set up. And the plate is high enough that it provides clearance for the slide, does not bump into the hammer, and even on a 30-30 cartridge, it ejects just forward to the face of the sight, so it doesn't hit the glass or bump into the plate and then fall back into your action. None of that. I have shot this plenty of times, and that has not occurred. And I will continue shooting it a bunch of times because I like it. So that is clean. That is mounted up and ready. I'm going to stick this back in the safe, get some more ammo ready, take this out to the desert again before it gets too hot out here. I hope you all have fun shooting whatever it is you're shooting. Please let me know in the comments below what kind of rifle you have that has those two holes on the side that could do with a nice red dot on top. I'm talking lever actions, and at least personally, the old wood guns. I don't like the modern stuff. I know Chris shoots more of the modern stuff. He's got his ARs. That's his thing. That's fine. I only ever personally collect wood guns. I love them, and you cannot change my mind on this. But okay, you all take it easy out there, and I will catch you around in the next video.